Well, hello and happy Tuesday to everyone. I believe it's November 13th, I think. So Tuesday the 13th. I don't know if you have any superstitions about that day. Let's hope not, because it's just another day. But last night was not just another night. I hope that you did see The Last Stand with myself and Jay Campbell. We were featuring Jason Rice, the Secret Space Program. We talked about reptilians. We talked about a lot of stuff that was very much mind-blowing. And even though it was about stuff that's like crazy and can be scary, I think it was ultimately a message of hope and a message of encouragement. And as you know, that's what we're always trying to do here. And that's kind of the purpose of these morning mantras. We also did have a little follow-up with Jay and I for about an hour where we just shared our opinions and when we talked about some things that got a little off subject from time to time, but also answered a lot of your questions. So take a look at that. And tonight at 8:30 on Eastern Time, I do have a special guest. Jessica Hope Hunter will be with me right here on the channel. First time for Jessica. We'll be talking about crystals. We'll be talking about energy readings. We'll be talking about astrology. We'll be talking about a lot of things, maybe even beauty. So could you imagine? We'll talk a little bit about beauty. Very, very happy to have her with us tonight. So be looking forward to that. And of course, Thursday, the Consequential Rapscallions will return. But today I wanted to talk to you about a subject that one of my subscribers brought to my attention yesterday. And I found it to be just a fascinating concept. It sounds, what's that in Japan time? I don't know, Sterling. You'll have to figure that one out yourself. And when I heard this, it immediately struck me. And it struck me with a great sense of disappointment. And we're talking about the terrible state of could. And I remember one of the old movies talking about, I could have been a contender. Mickey Rooney, I think. And that terrible state of could. I could have done this. I could have done that. I could have been this. I could have been that. I could have gone here. I could have gone there. I could have done this. I could have done that. But I didn't. And within this idea to me is not really so much the terrible state of could being that you were prevented, but the terrible state of could being that you prevented yourself. It wasn't anybody blocking you. It was your own lack. Sorry. I am so OCD sometimes, but I dropped a screw for the microphone stand. But anyway, you're so afraid that you live in this place, this terrible state of could. And if there's more than anything else, could is used when you didn't do it, absolutely. And the sad thing is that you probably could have done those things. You could have been that person. You could have accomplished those deeds. If there's anything that you ever get from listening to me and from watching me, please rest yourself, W-R-E-S-T, yourself, from this place of this terrible state of coulda, shoulda, woulda. Please get yourself out of that state. Because if you don't, you will always sit around and wonder what you could have done and wonder who you could have been. But if you try and fail, then at least you know. I'll use a personal example that all of you pretty much are aware of. A few months ago, I went down to South Florida thinking that this could be the one. I went for it. Hardcore all the way. It wasn't the one. Now I know. But if I'd have sat here in Clearwater and wondered and didn't do, then I could have been sitting here 20, 30 years from now saying, that could have been the one. What would have happened if I'd have tried it? I should have. And then you live with regret. And regret is a terrible retirement partner. Now, it can be argued, yeah, Jeff, but you could have saved yourself a whole lot of hell. You could have saved yourself a whole lot of problems. Yeah. Can we just talk here? I would much rather live with the hell. I would much rather live with the problems. I would much rather live with the loss of finances. I would much rather live with the loss of stuff. I would much rather live with the insults and the nastiness. I would much rather live with all of the stuff that I went through than to sit back and wonder what could have happened. I waited a long time before I started a channel. Well, I don't know if I should start a channel. And here we are now, almost 30,000 subscribers later. Could I do it? Yeah. Did I do it? Yeah. And it may not always work, but I'm telling you, the terrible, the sting, the momentary sting of defeat, the momentary sting of failure is nothing compared to the dull, eternal ache of the terrible state of could. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to the people that love you. Don't do that to the people that care about you. And don't do that to the rest of us. So what have you been thinking you could do? What have you been thinking you could be? Cousins, it's time. We are the last generation of real humans. Give it a shot. We'll sit around and laugh with each other and at each other for the spectacular failures that occur. But we'll be doing it knowing that we have become who we could have been. And we have done what we could have done. We won't live a life of coulda anymore. Helen Keller said life is either a daring adventure or nothing at all. If you keep doing what you've always done, you'll keep getting what you've always got. Are you satisfied with that? Free yourself from the terrible place of could, because you could be, you could do. I believe in you. We're the last generation of real humans. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty. This is New Cosmic Knowledge. Cousins, I'm excited for you. Let's get busy.